Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eberron, D&D stream thing.
2164.
No! Mass Effect was so good, but we're not going to talk about that because we just want to play D&D. Too much happened last week for us to waste time just chattering about stupid things. So for like a less than 30-second recap, the party met the Changeling in the Changeling's real form, just not being Luca's brother. They met the Changeling. They had a nice long conversation with N. And more or less turned out with, hey, Luca, first world problems. Get over yourself. Luca was like, yeah, I think I will, because you're not that bad of a person. They decided to make some sort of alliance moving forward. We'll see how that plays out. Reich had put together some way of ousting that Changeling in case things go sideways with it, or at least is working on it, which is pretty cool. Then you guys head way south back to Stormreach. And in Stormreach, you guys went to go speak to Kieran's cousin, and on the way there decided to interrupt a arena match in like a coliseum. So literally you jumped into the ring, Reich first, everybody jumped into the ring in one way or another, magic or otherwise, to help out, defeated the Minotaur that was down there, and saved the drow, technically two drow, but we'll get to that in a second, that are down there. But sadly Reich took a bunch of hits, got dropped, and boom, here we are. So with smoke throughout the arena, Reich currently has 2 death points on him. But, fun fact, Oliver, you, down there, Ollie, you actually did not spend a hero point last session to give Reich, to save Reich from a death point. Why? Because Ollie actually pointed out a fun fact. If you take a hit point of damage, if you take an attack of damage while you're unconscious in 5e, you accrue 1 death point, not 2. We have forever been playing the rules 2 death points. But it's actually 1. So, Ollie, you get to keep your action point. And you know what? I'll even go so far as to say you have inspiration for proving me wrong. You have an inspiration.
That's good.
You still have that?
System we totally use.
Wait, so that's how we get inspiration? We have to prove you wrong? This should be easy.
Yeah, that wasn't the. Everyone, get your books out.
Books out.
Let's raw versus ride, DM.
Okay. So, let's see. Now you're there, so you guys are Reich is pulled from the smoke, correct? Reich is pulled from the smoke. Mm-hmm. Luca was still down in it, correct? But yes. The doors open, as I said, it's kind of like combat's over. The doors open up. The guards are going to let Luca out and back into the Coliseum itself, back to like where the monsters or the competitors are kept. And of course, when the doors open up, they have weapons drawn, and they're like, they can clearly see who you are. You clearly wear the sigil of House Deneath. And they say, so when the doors open up to you, they say, we don't know who you are, and we don't know what Deneath business here is here or with Bloodhorn, but drop your weapon.
I drop my weapon, keep my shield.
Okay. Like, you drop your weapon, you technically have other weapons. They don't question any of it. As a matter of fact, when you drop your weapon, they kind of walk over to you. One of them walks up to you, and he's just like, what happened? And he's like, face to face with you, like, no weapons out, no weapons threatening against you, nothing douchey or anything like that. So he's just asking you straight out, what happened?
I'm going to say the hobgoblin in the ring. See if he gets a reply, see if he acknowledges that he was there.
Yeah,
I
saw that.
That was my comrade. I was protecting him.
But he's the one that instigated.
I didn't say that my friends didn't make poor choices. However, I'm not going to let them die over them.
Well,
clearly he was biting off more than he could chew.
He's just kind of nods, and he's like calculating this. He's like, you realize I'm going to have to detain you.
I do. Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, that sounds misfortunate. And he reaches down and picks up your weapon off the ground, and he like regards it, seemingly like, because he's human, like longingly, right. And then he hands it to you.
I'll take it and put it away.
Okay. He's like, come with me. And he gestures for the others to like go and get the drow or what remains of them. And just a reminder, when I described you guys initially entering into that ring before, when I initially described it, I had said that there were 2 fighting, 2 dead, and 1 that was still writhing around on the ground. Technically speaking, the one writhing around on the ground is still alive, so you saved 2. Go ahead.
Woohoo. I'll just follow him. Originally, I was gonna say something else, but I won't. I'll just follow.
Sure. So he's just gonna like bring you to a cell, to literally like a gladiatorial cell, and lock you in. The thing about these cells is that they're not like individual ones unless it's like you're about to go out into the ring. They're not individual ones.
Sure.
You get locked in with a bunch of other people, and so you actually get locked into a cell with a plethora of other peoples around you. There are a few humans. There's a bunch of drow, stuff like that are locked in here. It's just like a mix of races that are in here, but they're all like typical humanoid races that are locked in the cell you're in. Everybody's in just like simple loincloth, laced shoes, things like that. You're the only one that's like adorned and armed and armored with all of your crap. And so you kind of like walk in, they shut the door behind you. They all kind of like look at you like, what the? And one of the guards looks back at you and says, "Play nice," to you.
Okay. I'm just gonna go walk over to like an empty spot, maybe against the wall. Sit down. Don't say anything to anyone.
Okay. So you go over there. You sit down. You don't say anything. Make me an insight check really quickly.
Sure.
Okay. So you just kind of get the assessment that the people around the room are steering clear of you. Trying to avoid the fact that you are a fully armed person sitting inside the cell with them. They're just kind of like, we're going to avoid what's going on with this guy right here. All right, so moving on. That's what happens at you. Reich, you get lifted up by Kieran, who's able to like use gust or whatever it is to blow you over to the side and to make it so you can land gently over by the guards. The guards obviously immediately take Reich and apprehend him. Stalbor was up trying to speak to Kieran's cousin. We'll get to that in a second.
No, at this point I was running to Reich, remember?
Oh,
yeah, he was invisible.
I wanted to do spare to dying on. I was invisible trying to get to where Kieran was going to drop
That's right. So we'll actually go to Kieran last then. So because you're invisible, you're able to easily rush your way across across there to get over to him. I mean, you're not jumping off cliffs, levitating here, doing backflips there, or anything like that. You're finding the nearest stairwell and like rushing your way down it, and weaving through people and
I'm gonna be real
shoving
sweaty.
a baby out of the way, and making your way to it as quickly as you can. You get to Reich, and the guards have him. They're actually bent over him and checking to see if he's okay and whatnot. One of the things that you notice about these guards immediately, first thing you notice as soon as you're rushing up to them, is they seem to know what they're doing. Like they actually seem to know, like they're checking his wounds. They're pouring like fresh water onto it out of a water skin. Somebody else is pulling up bandages. They seem to know what it is that they're doing, but they're hunched over Reich's body, and their dirty hands are nothing compared to Stalbor's, right? So you make your way up.
Can I see Kieran over here, or is Kieran like way away?
Kieran is currently away. I'm sure she'll be making her way one direction or the other in a moment. Kieran, which direction were you heading?
Well, my plan was to go down to the pit and get Reich down. Because I can only move him like horizontally and vertically, so I went down in there and gave him
you said last week that you intended to gust to get him like off to the side.
I don't know if I can do that. If I can do that, that's fine.
I'm gonna say yes, and we'll worry about it in the future.
And I will just kind of be watching. I'll be looking for Stalborg. She's fucking
Range
vanished.
30 feet, medium or smaller. Strength saving throw would be pushed up to 5 feet away. He instantly fails a strength saving throw, so you gust a few times and he's off the edge.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And then I'll kind of just look around for Stalborg and try to figure out where people are. If I see Luca, I'll go towards him.
So you see the guards surrounded by, running and surrounding Reich. So you know that he's not there. Stalbor's not able to be seen at all. No matter how much you look, you can't find him. You did see Luca. The doors opened up, and Luca, I'm sure he didn't want to go in there, but to get out of the gas, he did go into the side chamber, which is where the competitors come up from.
All right, well then I will probably actually go with Reich. Just make sure nothing happens to his unconscious body.
Do you like rush over there as quickly as you can, or do you make your way over there?
I make my way over there.
Okay, guards are going to stop you between here and there. We'll get to that in a moment. Stalbor, what do you do?
Yeah.
So I'd see Kieran coming over.
Not really, because there's so much crowd and everything around. It's multi-leveled. You know what I mean?
I will.
You can roll a perception. It's just going to be a high DC.
I'll roll the perception anyway, because why not, right? It probably won't change much.
It did not change anything.
I'm busy right now.
Yep.
I will not exactly subtly, but I'll do it like sort of as I'm entering the area, go out of invisibility just while walking. And I imagine it's not like a it's like a slow process.
Yep.
And I'll walk up and be like, I'm a physician. Let me heal him. It'll take a minute. He'll be stable.
So the guards look at you, like recognizing who you are. Not all of them, but at least some of them. And so like kind of seeing that, and they grab for their weapons, and they look at you, and they look down at Reich, and they say, "Yeah, but then you're coming into custody with us."
Fine. If that's what you have to do, and I'll just go over and quickly cast Spare the Dying on Reich to completely stabilize him. Just.
Okay.
And then I'll stand up and just like very, very like fine, like throw my hands up in the air, like I'm not gonna do anything.
Okay. So you do exactly that. You put your hands in the air. They take your hands, put them behind your back to manacle them. Which, you know, manacles are loose chains, but they manacle them. And they take Reich, and they look him over, and one of the people that was leaned over him is like, he seems fine. He does. This one knows those magics of the gods. And puts manacles on Reich, but like in front of him because of the fact that he's already unconscious anyways. So just manacles his hands in front of him. And they bring over a stretcher, and they put him on top of it and hoist him up and start carrying him off to the side along with you. Now, Kieran, you were heading towards...
Reich.
Okay, so you're heading towards him, and all of a sudden you see that he's now on a stretcher and being moved, and Stalbor is in manacles and is being walked away as well. What do you do?
Continue forwards.
Okay, eventually, like I said, one of the guards calls out to you and is like, Kieran of Lyrindar.
Oh, I'm with her.
This
I'll
is a
say
guard,
very loudly.
different guards,
Yep.
but from
I know,
further back,
but like
yeah.
I hear it.
Yeah.
I would make it as clear as I can.
And I will kind of like whip around, like, what do you want?
There's gonna have to be a conversation about what transpired here.
Yes, I understand. Can I go with them? Or should we go separately?
Oh, yeah, please, right this way, ma'am. And then he steps forward with
Fine.
you, and he starts walking alongside with you, and he's like, and he'll turn to you and be like, so what was that? And it's just very like friendly, like, what was that? What happened here?
Apparently the hobgoblin doesn't like the gladiator ring. Go figure.
What's a hobgoblin?
Or oh, that one. I point to the red one. The red one down there.
Oh, I thought that was just a diseased orc.
No, there's something totally different.
Oh.
Or maybe he just was so enthused about the fighting he had to join in. I'm not sure which. We'll figure out later.
Well, all I know is that people are pretty pissed right now, and I mean like.
Oh, it was a good show.
Yeah, I think there's more at work here than you know there, Kieran. But
Probably.
that's you know, your uncle can sort that out, you know. And he's just gonna kind of walk with you, and
Like wave it away.
and he actually will step in front of you and open doors for you as you're walking. Like, so like, oh, one of those, oh, let me get that door for you. And there are guards around you because like you are being escorted in a not positive way, but it's actually quite pleasant. And eventually everybody.
I'll chat with them.
What was that?
I'll make a little chit chat with them, like if I can.
Eventually, the two of them make their way down to the cell where Luca already is. And so, as the cell door is opening up for right before the cell door opens up for them to come in, there's actually a cell door on the back half that opens up, like cranks upwards. These are iron bars for all of those servants and slaves or whatever they are to go through that hole into a separate chamber, so they're no longer with Luca. And as soon as they're all through and they finally crank the thing back shut again, they open up the front door so you guys can join in. Because it takes so long, Kieran eventually joins up with the unconscious Reich and Stalbor. She finally catches up with them as the door's cranking open for you guys to go in.
I'll stand up to seeing my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say to Stalbor, "How is he?"
Fine, thanks to me. That
I'll nod.
big old cow did some brutal things to him.
Well, as did I to it. A bit of it was unnecessary, however. At least no one's dead, except for maybe the Minotaur.
So they lead you guys in and go to shut the gates. Before they shut the gates, the one that was speaking to you before, Karen, says, "We'll send word to your uncle. There's obviously we'll do that, but you know that word is obviously going to spread to those that run the arena as well, and they're probably going to speak to you before your uncle does."
I don't care.
Okay, then be comfortable. And with that, he goes to leave the cell.
Thanks.
As they're closing the door, he's like, "One moment," to the person that's closing the door. He actually walks across the way to where they keep like a small barrel of like grog, which is not good. It's a small barrel of grog where they'll ration it out for people that do well in like training or whatever it is. And he'll actually like have one of the other guards hoist up the whole barrel and bring it in and put it onto a bench inside the cell where you guys are, and just leave the grog barrel with you guys.
Thank
And
you.
then the door shuts, and he leaves behind just one of these nameless guards, guard B, to watch over you.
You
That
see,
whole grog's
Luca,
up.
this is a holding cell. House needs to take note.
I roll my eyes. I don't say anything. I'm just like, don't care.
So, Kieran, you know, they were
Salvo?
actually entertained until your bitch sister? Is Lysa your sister? I genuinely can't tell.
Distant cousin.
Distant cousin actually told them to make us stop.
Mm.
They were very
I know, right?
interested until then. I was right there beside them.
Oh, she's so
She
stuck in the
made
mud.
them attack us, so, you know. Use that against them.
I agree.
Throw the book at them. But not my book.
I don't think this is anyone's book.
Do you craft a potion for Reich?
Did Ollie freeze?
Oh no.
Oh, am I dead?
You're
You're
back,
good.
you're back
You.
now.
No, you're good now.
Oh, are my hands behind my back?
No. I don't
Oh,
think
they
so, right?
release your manacles. Because like Luca never even got manacled.
Yeah, then I'll do a quick healing elixir for Reich, and then I will arcane recovery, and assuming we're going to be here for more than an hour.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be there for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be like sitting there reading my spell book.
Hold on, we're gonna be here for more than an hour.
All right, Reich, heal
I'm
yourself.
spending some hit points. Some
How
hit
much?
dice.
How much does that heal me again?
2d4 plus 2.
There's actually a macro for it. Eric, I got it
Yeah.
right here. Hold on, I'll press the button for you. Where is it? Elixir.
Wow.
Boom.
Grog in one
Guys,
hand, book
what
in the
is
other.
this?
I'm sorted.
There you go. Oh, I rolled garbage too, so it's okay.
Well, no, but like I'm literally rolling the lowest numbers I can.
So
There.
you're back to life there, Eric.
Nice.
You're awake. What's his face there? Reich is
That's
awake.
back to health.
And so you come to and you notice you're inside of a cell, but it smells of like sweat and blood and dirt and
It's like home, huh?
strangely though, it doesn't smell like death. Not down here. This is at least a decent number of feet beneath the arena itself, because you know you had to walk down into it, and the arena had the smell of death. Down here, strangely, the smell of death is like it's not potent. It's not pungent.
We got the nice cells.
Just beneath the aroma. Do you say anything when you wake up?
I look at them in the cells with me. I look at I kind of get a grip on the situation. I did just wake up from near death. I just look around, just.
I wait
That
for
did not
Reich
go
to
as intended.
Well,
Did you have fun? I had fun.
That was not fun.
Reich, that was foolish.
Perhaps, but
Well, I'm proud of you.
there's a difference between a fair challenge, man to man, fighting to the death, and public cruelty.
Aren't you a man of bureaucracy?
Normally, yes.
Well, if you want to get this change, then perhaps the proper way to do it is to go through bureaucracy instead of just jumping into the ring
I have
and
no
maybe
say.
offending a culture.
Kieran will roll her eyes.
I
He
may
saw
have.
something he wanted and he went for it. I'm proud of you, Reich.
I don't think he wanted to do that, Kieran.
There's nothing.
I think you wanted to.
I think he felt the need to. I think it's a different feeling.
Oh, please. Same thing.
After you guys are done debating,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
all of a sudden, like so it's a little over an hour after you've been down there. You hear a female voice say, "Oh, you can leave now." Gesturing to the guard.
Kieran will like visibly cringe, like, God, why?
And in walks your cousin there, Aaron. Now, Aaron, I will allow you to do this. Describe your cousin for us.
Oh, I don't have any idea.
You can give me the physical
David,
characteristics.
no.
I will allow you to. I mean, I'll jump on it. I was just giving you the permission.
No, you go for it.
Okay, no problem. So
She's ugly and haggard, and she
that wouldn't work.
We'll make her blonde. How about that?
That would so that wouldn't
There you
work
go.
well. So Lycia Delarendar. So she stands at about 4 foot. I want to say at about 4'10", maybe 4'9", and she is rather well built for someone who's very, very short. So she's really tiny, but it's one of those, like, she could definitely hold her own, no question. She can scrap. She could take a hit and deliver one. She walks around with this, like, peacock-like style of walking where everybody around her should immediately know who it is that's walking into the room. Everybody around her should immediately be, like, happy about the fact that she walks into the room. She's dressed in what is clearly captain's clothes, but, like, the most expensive captain's clothes that she could possibly purchase. So she walks around, has that very swashbuckler-esque air to her. As she comes walking into the room in a very quick and long stride, sending the guard away and turning, and like the way she turns and swivels and like rests her hand on her hip and then her chin in her other hand, she kind of like looks over at the rest of you guys and says, "Oh, you fucked up, didn't you?" About a step or so right before Kieran is able to respond, about a step or so after her, like try to keep up with her, happens to be the gentleman that we were talking about beforehand, who, as I described, the clothing that he wears is just, it hurts you how expensive it is, the clothing that he's wearing. So anyways, Erin, she walks into the room and says that. What's your response?
I shrugged. It was fun.
Oh.
No regrets.
Oh, fun? That was fun for you.
Of course.
Well,
It was fun for your husband there too, actually. I watched him laugh and clap.
He's like, "Oh, we're not married."
It was a great show.
And she turns and gives
because
him
you're
like
definitely
this.
being led around like she's your wife.
She turns and gives him an extremely sharp look and cuts off his laughter immediately. What was Stalbor's immediate next line?
You certainly seem like you're being led around by her like she's your wife. And then he just like goes back to the book. Just ignores it.
You can't just drop one line and then piece out here in your book. That's not
I
right.
was like, yeah, you can.
So you just like stoked his ego there, which certainly like he like gets aggravated at that, and at this he actually takes 2 steps forward, which puts him standing in front of Lycia, and so which obviously she's immediately, you can see that she is not happy about the fact that all of a sudden he's now standing in front of her and seems to be taking command of the situation, because simple fact of the matter is he is actually one of the 5 lords that runs this island, that runs this city, so he technically does have a higher position than her. He steps forward and says, "Very well, then let me tell you that you fucked up. Do you know who it was that you killed?"
I'll kind of like look around. No.
That was
say no.
Bloodhorn. Do you know who Bloodhorn is?
No.
This was Bloodhorn's 100th match. It was meant to be an easy
Was he
layup.
undefeated?
Yeah, if he was defeated, he wouldn't be at his 100th match, would he?
Ah, well.
This was his, he finally gets released from prison match.
Oh, you release prisoners via fighting? What?
Kira was like, put her hand on her head.
You make them fight and then you let them go?
Have you never heard of a gladiatorial ring before? What kind of barbaric world do you come from?
Hey, Renell.
I don't know the logistics of them. I've heard of them.
Yes, the gladiators, they fight. And depending on who they are, they have a number of matches that they must win. And there are certain types of matches that they must win. And this one was fighting his 100th match, the last one that he was supposed to fight. Oh, and you did fuck up, because not only did you kill a man on his layup match, the easy one that was just there to put on a blood show for everybody so he could take his win. But you also just took the victory from all the people in these cells. Because now they think that maybe the whole thing's a rig. They think maybe they can't get away, but that doesn't matter. We'll ignore them because they can always be whipped back into thinking otherwise. What about his benefactors? The one that have put so much money into his equipment in his career? What about the ones that literally bought a ship for him so that when he sailed back across the seas, he would be sailing in their ship?
So are these people criminals?
You ask him that?
Yeah.
I don't know the logistics of every individual scum that's put into these cells. And
All
he
right, was
gestures
he a
towards you
criminal?
guys as he says that.
Yeah, that's
I'll
fucking
say-
rude.
Yeah, I'll just well, was he a criminal?
Again, I don't care to know the stories before they become interesting.
Well, I guess his story was just shy of becoming interesting.
Looks like your friends made some bad investments.
Wait,
Come
so
on, stop being so fucking aggro. Come on, man, I fucked up. You gotta let me just take a little bit on the chin. Stop being so goddamn
no,
angry.
no.
You're pissing off the
No,
only
that's the
people that
thing.
can
Listen.
save me right
that's-
now.
That's the
He's
thing,
not being
Eric.
angry. He's just
Listen.
pointing
Yeah.
out the obvious.
Well, yeah, he's just pointing out the obvious, and and Luca thinks you did the wrong thing, but this guy's being like a douche about it. So he's like, well, no, he did the wrong thing, but don't be a douche canoe, okay?
Nah,
Like,
he kind of deserves to be a douche a little bit.
I mean,
I
like,
fucked up. Not to you guys, but to me, most certainly.
So when he's like assessing the situation,
It was fine.
when he assesses the situation, he's like looking at it and he's kind of like weighing it into responses. He's like, I get it. You see, some people, adventurers that come through here, and they kill somebody that they realize was probably innocent, they have some sort of remorse. But I think you have a bit of bloodlust to you, don't you?
I look around again, and is he directing this at me?
Yeah, directly at you, because you're the one that's like running your mouth at him.
I look around, and I'm just like, not at all.
That's funny, because I believe you're the one that delivered the killing blow, and then you laugh over his corpse. You know, maybe you should get comfortable in that seat that you're sitting in.
Well, you see, I delivered the killing blow because he was going to kill my friend here.
Oh, don't worry.
You
your
see,
friend-
that's a thing called honor that we have. That isn't putting one man against 5 defenseless men.
That's fair. That's fair.
He turns to Kieran and says, "I've never traveled as far north beyond Sharn. Are they
Obviously.
all so flippant when standing before royalty? Sorry." She says to not Kieran, Lycia, and she's like,
They don't recognize
I
the
say-
single ruler.
no,
They
I
literally
say-
had a war over this.
I actually say in Goblin. I say.
It lasted 100 years.
"What are you saying, Goblin Eric?"
I say in Goblin only fake royalty.
Oh.
Luckily, he doesn't understand that.
Yeah,
Which is
look
just
what-
making Kieran's point.
Yep.
Okay.
So she looks to him and she's like, and she's obviously, again, she's pretty pissed off at the moment. She's like, they're adventurers. They think that they know things. They don't know anything.
At the party, you can't tell
was-
us we're wrong.
And then she's like,
I know, but there were
she gestures to
283
Kieran. She's like,
ways.
and look at the company they keep. Clearly, they're trash.
There were
Fuck you.
283 ways for someone to enter that ring, not including magic. There were 152 ways that I could see on a cursory glance for you to get us out of that ring without poisoning and letting everyone live. You simply have not made the necessary precautions. I can do a full assessment for you, but you cannot afford it.
Don't.